New shows and big stars. ABC's fall season lineup includes new sitcoms and dramas from Brad Garrett, Ron Livingston, and Nathan Fillion, along with the Roseanne reboot, The Connors, and TV contributor Gwen Reyes is here to take us behind the scenes. And I wanted to mention right off the start that a lot of people know Gwen for freshfiction.com, but she does TV too.
That's right.
So we're glad to have you here. You know a lot about this. Okay. Single Parent stars Brad Garrett, Leighton Meester, and Taran Killam, and it looks really funny.
It is so funny. I really enjoyed it. It's single cam, so it doesn't have a laugh track or studio audience or anything. You're following this group of sort of this ragtag team of friends who they're unlikely friends. They're all single parents who have children in the same elementary school, and they embrace this new character, this new one named played by Taran Killam, who is just kind of a doof. He's just so lovey, very much like a golden retriever, and everybody kind of accepts him even though he doesn't really fit in anywhere. But it's really funny, and I'm excited to see more of this show.
Speaking of TV experience, Regis Philbin's daughter, JJ
Philbin
created the show?
She created the show, and she's show running it, which is really great also to have a woman on set and behind the scenes, because I think that's really going to kind of broaden the sort of stories that we're going to be seeing from these kids.
Okay, a lot of people remember Everybody Loves Raymond. Brad Garrett hasn't had much success since. Is this finally where his comedy can shine?
You know, it's a really good question, Jane. I actually thought that he did so well in this show. He plays this rich man whose wife has died, and he's left with his two twin daughters who are Spitfires. They are ridiculous, and they really model themselves after a lot of him. And he's just really funny, and I'm excited to see what sort of hijinks he's going to get into.
Okay, A Million Little Things premieres September the 26th.
Yes.
It stars Ron Livingston, about a group of friends coping with an unexpected loss. Let's take a listen to that.
How could I not see it? This is John. Perfect John.
He should be here.
Everything happens for a reason.
Sometimes what happens is terrible, but as bad as this seems, there is good, and you will find it. I promise.
Looks really timely. What did you think of the first episode?
Good. I loved the first episode. If you are a fan of NBC's This Is Us, this is going to be ABC's version of This Is Us. You're going to be crying every single episode as they reveal sort of why the main character, who's played by Ron Livingston, who will be in every single episode, he is the one that kills himself in the first part of the show, and all of the friends are kind of reeling from that and trying to figure out how this person who seemed to have everything completely under control and his life was perfect, he had the best wife, why would he choose to do this? And
I don't mean to be macabre, but this does deal with reality. The creator actually had a friend commit suicide, right?
Yes, he did. He talked about this when we were at TCA back in July, about how he went to have lunch with a friend. He was going to go have lunch with, and then 2 days before they were supposed to have lunch, he killed himself. And so he had been dealing with that himself, of how do you kind of face life after knowing that this person who you really admired and you loved, you couldn't help them. And so this is sort of his way of helping his friends and helping anybody else who's lost somebody to suicide.
Okay, on a little bit lighter note, Dancing with the Stars Juniors pairs celebrity kids with professional ballroom junior dancers. Big 2-hour premiere Sunday, October 7th. Does it work just like Dancing with the Stars?
It does.
What?
It's very similar. So it seems there's a lot more hosts and guests and judges on the show, because we got Jordan Fisher and one of the Frankie Muniz, and they're all members who have been part of the Dancing with family, and now they're coming on and hosting. And all of the performers on this, the true pros, are pros that we've seen on the original Dancing with the Stars. So Val's going to be there.
Cute.
The kids are so cute. Cheryl Burke is on here. But what I've also found really fascinating versus what we see in the adult version, we're going to see same sex. So we're going to see a female pro dancing with a girl dancer, with a young child. So that's really interesting, and I'm curious to see what sort of routines we're going to be seeing from these girls.
All right. We enjoyed Alec Baldwin on Match Game this summer, but in October, it's Sundays with Alec Baldwin, and it's not Match Game.
It's not Match Game. It's not like a variety show, which is what I was expecting. Because as Alec was announcing this series, I was just assuming it was going to be, another sort of goofy talk show thing. But it's really a very serious show. He's really sort of modeling himself after a lot of the evening primetime interview series that he watched growing up as a kid, and now he's doing his own version. And the episode that we're looking at right now is actually not one that's going to air. This was their quote-unquote pilot, but in this he interviewed interviewed Jerry Seinfeld as well as Kate McKinnon, just to kind of get a vibe. So what I'm understanding of what they're going to be doing, and of course everything will change, but he's going to have like 2 celebrities or 2 good friends on, interview one for 15 minutes and then do the other for 15 minutes.
Well, he certainly has access to the people.
He definitely does.
All right, the controversial spinoff of Roseanne the Connors. So what are they going to do about her character?
So the show starts off with a tragic loss, and from what I assume, that means that Roseanne is going to be killed off in the first episode. We probably will not see her. It'll be probably something that happens off screen, and then the family now has to come together and deal with how do you go about when the matriarch of your family is no longer a part of that family, especially in something that's so big and bold as the Roseanne series. And it was the #1 comedy of 2018 of the last season, so it makes so much sense for ABC to kind of want to continue it.
So for fans of that show, it's filmed in the same house?
Filmed in the same house with the same crew, same cast. It's going to look the same. It's going to have a live studio audience. It's just going to be missing one main character.
A big character.
A big character.
Okay. The Goldbergs took us back to the 80s. Now a new sitcom, The Kids Are All Right, takes us back to the 70s.
Yes.
What's this about?
So Jane, this show
I can do the 70s.
Yes. So this show is very interesting. This is about a Midwestern Catholic family who have 8 children of all ages, ranging from college age to babies, and they deal with the son coming back from seminary school and no longer wanting to be a priest, and how he's kind of reeling with that in the time and the changes of the 1970s, because there's so much political turmoil going on. So there's going to be interesting conversations that the family has at dinner that are very reflective of what's going on in our modern time. So I think it's interesting, because that's kind of like, is that realistic? But at the same time, it makes for very enjoyable watching. So I think it's funny. I think the parents are really great. I think the kids get lost in the fray of it, because there's 8 of them. So I'm interested to see, as more episodes go on, how they're going to kind of deal with their giant bloated cast.
Okay, one of my favorite shows of all time, Shark Tank, comes back for a memorable new season on Sundays. It's 10th,
I
is
know,
that right?
Isn't it insane to think it's been on for so long? With over 200 episodes, too, which is just crazy. So yes, Shark Tank is coming back. I'm sure we're going to see lots of celebrity stars on there, different judges. Mark Cuban is, of course, back, because we can't forget our Mark. He's wonderful. But I love Shark Tank. I always pretend that I'm a big business entrepreneur, so I love getting a little advice.
And
that I win, yes. Then I'm going to come up with something crazy, some weird hairbrush that straightens hair without using any heat. That's my goal.
Okay, a couple more we want to get to real quickly. Nathan Fillion from Castle stars in The Rookie. Let's take a look at that real quick.
Some new blood this morning, and some who were born before disco died. Officer Bishop, you get to ride with a 40-year-old rookie.
Sergeant Gray does not appear to be a fan of my presence in this department.
But you're old as hell?
I don't like you, Officer Nolan. I hate what you represent. A walking midlife crisis. And that will get my people killed.
So he's the oldest and newest police trainee in LA?
In LA, yes. He's the oldest rookie on the LAPD beat team.
Okay, when's it come on?
So this is coming out on October 16th. And I will warn you, I went into this expecting it to be very much like Castle and very much like normal Nathan Fillion, sort of goofy, ridiculous. It's a very serious show. It's dealing with very serious things, but Nathan, of course, does add a little levity to it always. But be prepared that they are going to be dealing with a lot of very serious issues, because they are beat cops. So we're dealing with street crimes, burglary, murder, all kinds of crazy things.
All right, thanks for all the good info, all your insight. Go to abc.com to see the full lineup for ABC's new fall season.